بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اتبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. We are beginning today Al-Wahdatul Khamisah. Al-Wahdatul Khamisah. The fifth chapter, which is titled At-Ta'am wa-Sharab, which is vocabulary that we should all be familiar with. So it means what?
The food.
Food and drink.
Food and drink. Naam. So the chapter is about food and drink. Naam. So go to the first dialogue, Al-Hiwarul Awwal. So we have two people speaking to each other. First person is Qasim and the second person is Salim. So I'm going to read it once and then we're going to have some of us practice reading it back. So Qasim says, كم وجبة تأكل في اليوم؟ أو كم وجبة تأكل في اليوم? We learned the word kam before, which is how many or how much. Wajbatan is a new word, which is meals, or it's in the singular form, so it is a meal. Wajbatan. And we know ta'kulu, right? Everybody is familiar with the verb ta'kulu. Does anyone not know the word ta'kulu?
No.
Can someone tell me what it is then?
You eat.
Na'am. Ta'kulu is you eat. And then we have this phrase, fil yawm, meaning in the day. Okay, so he's asking, how many meals do you eat in the day? So Salim replies, آكل ثلاث وجبات. I eat 3 meals. And he says, and he lists them, al-fatur, wal-ghada, wal-asha. And that is breakfast, lunch, dinner, as most of us are familiar with the same 3 meals a day. Qasim, he says, هذا كثير جدا. This is a lot, right? He says, هذا this كثير, a lot. And جدا is emphasizing, it's like this is really a lot, basically. And he says, أنا آكل وجبة واحدة. And I eat 1 meal in the day. So Salim says, هذا قليل جدا. This is very little. This is too little. You can say that maybe this is too much and this is too little, or this is a lot, way too much, or this is an extreme amount, and this is just a really small amount. So Qasim says, ماذا تأكل في الغداء? What do you eat at lunch? What do you eat at lunch? Salim says, آكل اللحم والدجاج والأرز والخبز. So, yes, a lot of these might be new. Al-lahm is meat. Dajaj is chicken. And I think the difference between the two, because chicken is also meat, right? I think the meat may be referring to like beef or lamb or something else in this context here, and the chicken is referring to chicken meat. Wal aruz, it is rice. Wal khubz is bread. Aywa. So he says then, وَمَاذَا تَأْكُلُ أَنْتَ? And what do you eat? Remember the anta. This is always added when a person is responding the same question back to the person who asked them. right? And we said that this is how we say when we say the same question back to someone else, with emphasis on the word you, right? And what do you eat, right? That tone, that inflection that we put in our voice on that word, that's what this anta represents, because it's redundant, it's repetitive, right? Because anta is repeating from this ta here, because ta'kulu already means you eat. So just make sure everybody understands and remembers that point. So Qasim says, akulu samaka, fish.
Fish.
Was-salata, exactly what it sounds like, salad.
Salad.
Wal-fakiha, fruits.
Fruit.
So he's he's a healthy guy, right? He eats only one meal, and that one meal is all fish, salad, and fruits. Then Salim says, ma waznuk. This is weight. What is your weight? Waznuka, you. Okay, this is what we learned recently. Idafa, waznuka, your weight. So he says this number, which is 60, but in Arabic, sittuna. Sittuna kilan, which is like kilograms, kg, right? Because I know we're not familiar with it, but I think probably the rest of the world uses that unit of measurement for weight. And we're more accustomed to pounds. So he says, وَمَا وَزْنُكَ أَنْتَ? And what's your weight? And he says, مِئَةُ كِيل, 100, right? 100 kg. Then he says, Qasim says, أَنْتَ سَمِينٌ جِدًّا. And this word means fat. So they're not, there's no PC, there's no like political correctness here, there's no nothing like that. This is written in a different time, right? So he's saying you're really fat, man. And Salim says, "Wa anta nahifun jiddan," and this means skinny, and you're really skinny. And that's the end of that. I don't know why they would make stories, dialogues like this, but this is just yeah, it's funny. Now let's have some people read the dialogue back, inshallah. So does anyone want to volunteer?
I'd like to try to read first. And
هل أنت الرجل السمين؟
say that again?
What you call me?
I'm asking, are you gonna? So you're gonna read. So are you gonna be the fat man or the skinny man?
I'm going to be Qasim.
Okay.
I'm going to be the skinny man.
I don't think that was all right. We'll let you be Qasim, inshallah. We'll see who that ends up being.
All right.
Who's gonna be Salim?
Jamar.
No.
You're gonna be Salim, all right?
Sure. Fadl.
Okay. Come wajabtu taqulu fi yom. How many times do you eat? No, yeah. How many meals do you eat in a day?
Just the word wajbatan. It's wajbatan now.
Okay, now.
آكل 3 وجبات الفطور والغداء والعشاء. I eat 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
هذا كثير جدا. أنا أكل وجبة واحدة. Oh, how many? This is many. This is, wait a minute. You greedy, man. And wait a minute. No, if this is a large amount, right? This is large. I know I eat one meal a day.
Yeah.
Is that the way I would say it? Has a kirun jiddan?
Yeah, you could say it. You could say it like that. This is a lot, or this is a large amount, or this is
Okay.
yeah.
هذا قليل جدا. Well, this is too little.
ما هذا تأكل في الغداء
Not ما هذا, but ماذا.
ماذا
نعم.
تأكل في الغداء. This is wait a minute. Why? What do you eat? What do you eat at what, lunch?
نعم.
At lunch, yeah. What would you eat at lunch?
آكل اللحم والدجاج والرز والخبز. I eat meat, chicken, and rice and bread.
نعم. Just the word,
but
this word, والأرز, أرز, with the hamza before the ra.
oh, والأرز. Sorry. وماذا تأكل أنت? And what do you eat?
أكل سمكة. Wait a minute. أكل سمكة والسلطة والفاكهة. I eat fish, salad, and fruit.
نعم. نعم, Mr. Jamal.
ما وزنك? What is your weight?
I can't say that in Arabic.
I'll write it down for you.
Situna. Situna kilan wama. Beg your pardon? That was right. Situna.
Yes.
Kilan wama nuka anta, and 60 kilos. 60 kilograms. I'm sorry. And how much do you how much do you weigh?
I say that same word, right? Situna.
No, this is 100. So this is what that looks like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's 60. I'm sorry. So how would you say 100?
Like this. Mi'atu.
Okay. Mi'atu kilo.
No.
I weigh 100 kilograms. Or I guess I'm saying I'm fat. Or you're fat.
I'm going to tell you that. And Taminun Jiddan, you're well, really, you're very fat. But I'm not saying you, Jamal. That's the text.
I know.
You're very fat. No. And now it's you, brother, Jamal.
Okay. وأنت نحيف جدا, and you are skinny, very skinny.
You're very, very skinny now.
SubhanAllah. Thank you, brother Jamal.
No problem.
People are gonna get into fights over this dialogue, man. So inshallah we'll move on to the next dialogue. الحوار الثاني, and this is between two people. The first one is called al-mudifa, al-mudifatu, and this means the what do you have it?
The waiter?
Stewardess or hostess on a plane. And this is what we have, al-musafira, the traveler, who's female. So we have here the mudifa, the hostess, the people who go and take people's orders on the plane for the meals. She asks, ماذا تطلبين من الطعام? ماذا is what? تطلبين is from the verb طلب. يطلب, right?
What
And
are you
this-
requesting to eat?
I was
What-
going to say, does it
what
say
are-
like what? Or
Yeah,
like what?
so it could be request or seek, as we know, talib is the one who seeks knowledge, right? Talibul ilm. Or it could mean student, or it could also mean order. So in this context, we would say, what would you like to order? Min at-ta'am, from the food, meaning what food would you like to order? And tatlubina, this ina, we know from our sarf lessons that this is for the second person female. When you speak to the female, you add ina at the end of the verb, present tense, right? So, and the ya in the beginning changed to ta because you're speaking to female as well. So she says, بعض السمك والأرز من فضلك, right? So some fish and rice, please, min fadlik, right? And this should have a shadda. I don't know why they don't show it.
So the
So it should
question,
look like that.
so when it
Yeah.
says men, you see where it says men? What is that
No.
implying when you put the word
So
men in there?
it's part of this phrase, min
Okay.
fadlik. We translate min fadlik as please.
Okay.
But if you want to look at literally what those words mean, min from, fadlik means like your favor or from your bounty, meaning like, if you please, would you help me with this, if you please, like something like that, from your favor, can you do me a favor,
Okay.
along those lines. But generally it just, you understand that to mean please. So al-mudifa responds, وَمَاذَا تَطْلُبِينَ مِنَ الشَّرَابِ, and what would you like to order to drink, right? And that is, just putting into a more common way of saying that sentence in English. Okay, so she responds, ma'an min fadlik. Two things, right? In the previous sentence, ba'd has a fatha. Ma'an is also mansub, it has fatha. I think we mentioned it briefly before, just in case people are confused. It's because it's the thing that's being ordered, and it makes it fatha. So meaning atlubu ma'an, I am ordering water. Min fadlik, please. So, and that thing is called maf'ulun bihi, that basically the direct object of the verb, if anyone is confused about that, don't worry about it. So al-mudifa says, وَمَاذَا تُفَضِّلِينَ مِنَ الْفَاكِهَةِ. This is another verb, which means it's from faddala,
They're like, go ahead.
يفضل. No, not. It's from the same root, but it's a different form. Which form is this?
يفعل.
فعل.
فعل يفعل, which
فعل
is
يفعل.
known as form number 2, and this means prefer.
Okay.
So, what do you prefer from fruits? What fruits do you prefer to have? Right? It's another way of saying the same thing. It's in this context, it's almost synonymous in the usage, in the sentence, but not in meaning. Right? It means prefer. So, ماذا تفضل? What do you prefer to have from fruits? What type of fruits do you want? And she says, التمر أو العنب. Dates or
Grapes.
yeah, dates or grapes, right?
Grapes.
No. Dates or grapes. And she says, then المضيفة says, هل تشربين الشاي? This is tea. And تشربين is from شرب يشرب, drink, right? The verb, the action of drinking. Do you drink tea? So المسافرة says, لا أفضل القهوة, which is coffee. And أفضل is the same verb that we just took up here. أفضل.
So that would mean
فضل.
I prefer, right?
أيوة, نعم. So she says, لا, no, I prefer coffee. I don't drink tea, I prefer coffee. So المضيفة says, القهوة بالحليب, meaning, does anyone know?
Coffee with cream.
Yeah, maybe you could say that, but it actually means milk.
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 Coffee with milk. And she says, نعم القهوة بالحليب. Coffee with milk. Yes. المسافرة then says after that again, شكرا, which means thanks. And المضيفة says عفوا. And that is used in sometimes different cases. When it's response to shukran, it means you're welcome, or
excuse me, right?
Like don't worry about it, no problem.
Could you use that word one for like excuse me?
You do, yes. I'm just saying this is in the context of responding to shukran. This is what it means. But when you use it in a different context, like if you're trying to get someone's attention and you say, Afwan, assalamu alaikum, excuse me, that's when it means excuse me. You understand? So when you're responding to shukran with this word, it means this, like you're welcome or no problem, don't worry about it. No big deal, something like that.
So quick question, not to kind of like go off of it. So you would say the same with like labas too, right? In the same context?
Also means no problem. Yeah, you could say. So you could say a lot of, you could respond to a lot of things in a lot of different ways, but there's just some more common than others, and you learn one way and then you learn other ways later as you practice speaking more.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like the same thing in English. You could respond by saying you're welcome. You could respond by saying no problem. You could say no big deal, my pleasure, all these things, right? There are all these different types of phrases in Arabic as well. So let's go through this real quickly so we can finish up the last one after this. Is Mahmoud here now?
I'm here.
Can you read as the first person and the second person? If we could have, who else? Dawood Nelson.
نعم.
ماذا تطلبين من طعامي؟
ماذا تطلبين؟ This فتحة.
ماذا تطلبين من الطعام؟
Yeah. And we're gonna continue by translating as we read each line.
Okay. What do you want to order? What type of food do you want to order?
No.
بعض السمك بعض السمك والأرز والأرز وأزري
والأرز.
والأرز من فضلك. I'll start with some fish and hold on. Fish and rice, please.
No.
وماذا تطلبين من الشراب من الشراب and what type of drink do you want to order? What do you want to order to drink?
No.
ماء من فضلك. What do you prefer?
No.
لا أخي. ماء. I don't know if I said it correctly. ماء. We know ماء.
Huh?
No.
What do you?
لا.
Nah.
Not what. ماء, like, right, like in the Quran we read some verses that said وأنزل من السماء ماء. ماء. Okay, ماء is water.
Oh, no, no. Water, please.
No.
وماذا oh, the screen more. وماذا تفضلين من الفواكه من الفاكهة and what do you and what type of fruit do you prefer?
No.
التمرة أو عنب. Dates or grapes.
No.
هل تشربين الشاي? Do you like tea?
لا.
Do you drink tea? Do you drink tea?
لا أفضل القهوة.
What is this again?
أفضل.
Look at it again.
أفضل.
No.
لا أفضل القهوة. No, I prefer coffee.
قهوة بالحليب. Coffee with milk.
نعم. القهوة بالحليب. Yes, coffee with milk.
شكرا.
عفوا. You're welcome.
No. جزاكم الله خيرا. So then let us wrap this up, inshallah. Oh, this is another funny conversation. Al-Hiwar al-Thalith, the third conversation between Az-Zawj was-Zawjah. Az-Zawj was-Zawjatu.
You know this is funny.
The husband and wife.
You know this is gonna be funny.
No.
That's funny. It's funny, Aki. I just asked my wife in Arabic because about tea.
MashaAllah.
She's about to make some tea. She's about to make tea.
MashaAllah. Man, so you're gonna find this even more entertaining, inshallah. So Az-Zawj says Assalamu alaikum, and Az-Zawj responds Wa alaikum assalam. Az-Zawj says Ana jaw'anu jiddan. Jaw'an means hungry, but it's like very hungry, like it's already emphasized in the word jaw'an, and then to add the word jiddan is even more. So it's like I'm like really starving, kind of like that. Which in Arabic is called sighatul mubalagha. It's a way of showing a lot of emphasis. This form, which ends in an at the end, like Ar-Rahman. So he's really hungry, and she says, الغداء على المائدة. Like al-ma'ida means the table. So lunch is on the table, right? The lunch is on the table. So he says, ما هذا? What is this? سمك ولحم سمك ولحم ودجاج وأرز وفاكهة. All these things. There's fish, there's meat, there's chicken and rice and fruits. And he's wondering why is there so much stuff. هذا كثير جدا. This is a lot. Yeah, this is like an extreme amount. And she says, لا تأكل, لا تأكل, don't eat. لا تأكل. She's telling him, don't eat anything. And he's like starving. Just came home. He's like about to faint maybe. He says, لماذا? لماذا means why, right? It's like the word li, harf, the harf lam plus ماذا, what. And this lam usually we translate to for. And mada is what. So like for what is like in a way similar to the meaning of why. And he says, Ana jawahan, I'm starving, right? She says, Ladayna duyuf. We know Ladayna, I think we had in one of the previous dialogues. It means we have. And duyuf means guests. And the singular is daif. One guest. So we have guests. So she's not allowed to eat anything and he's starving. And he says, Ladayna duyuf. What do you mean? Like basically, man, who? What do you mean we have guests? We have guests? Who? And she says, Walidi wa walidati. My dad and my mom, my father and mother. Now, and he says, Aina duyuf. Where are the guests? And she says, Fi ghurfatil julus. In the living room, as we have all these vocab from before. So kind of didn't have much of an ending there, but it was pretty funny to me. So let's
So did he eat?
and that's what I'm wondering. It's a cliffhanger.
He can't
If he ate.
He can't eat until the elders eat.
No. Look at him. He's looking at all this food on the table here, and he's
like, don't touch
about
it.
to cry. look at his face. He's about to cry.
Wait a minute.
So let's read this back, inshallah. Sheikh Ahmed.
No.
If you could read for us, along with who else didn't read? All right, let's Sheikh Ahmed and Sheikh Unku.
Naam, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikumussalam.
أنا جوعان جدا.
Al-ghada'u ala al-ma'idah.
Can we pause for a second? Just translate each line after you read.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
He says, I'm very hungry.
No.
Al-ghada'u ala al-ma'idah. The lunch is on the table.
ماذا؟ سمك ولحم ودجاج ورز فاكهة. هذا كثير جديد.
كثير جدا, right?
كثير جدا. It says, what is this? Fish, meat, chicken, rice, and fruit. This is a lot.
No.
La ta'kul. La ta'kul. Don't eat. Don't eat.
لماذا أنا جوعان؟
لدينا, do you, sorry, you have to translate that first.
Sheikh Ahmed translations.
That was uncle.
No, what you said here, لماذا.
Also, I'm hungry. I said, لماذا? Why? I'm hungry.
لدينا ضيوف. We have guests.
لدينا ضيوف من
والدي ووالدتي. Oh, sorry, you've got to translate.
Who are the guests?
Who are the guests? Or we have guests, and who are they?
والدي ووالدتي. My father and my mother.
أين ضيوف. Where are the guests?
في غرفة الجلوس. In the living room.
Oh,
No.
send them home.
Huh? Send them in.
Send them home.
Bad manners. Bad manners.
Yeah,
Imagine
they'll
telling
never
you,
come back to your house.
imagine telling your Zolja that her father and mother is in there.
No.
You said send them home. Oh man, you wouldn't hear the last word. You would
But
not
you
eat.
writing it in there, Kasha?
You would not
I was
eat.
about to.
You would still be hungry.
SubhanAllah.
You would be Jaw'an Jadidan.
No. جدا.
Jiddan, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So there's all the vocab words in the chapter over here. I don't know if we're meant to be doing any of these review exercises after each story.
That would
But,
be really good.
I think everyone should be doing them in between the classes after we finish each chapter. It would be helpful for sure, inshallah.
No.
Inshallah.
But so maybe we could do them like on some extra times in between during the week. I don't know if people want to practice these dialogues again and do the exercises.
No.
Inshallah. So inshallah we'll end it there. Barakallahu feekum. وأسأل الله أن يوفقنا. آمين.
I mean, has anybody heard from Ustad?
He mentioned that he's just having pretty bad headaches and stuff, so he's not feeling well.
I haven't heard from him. That's why I was concerned about him. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why you end up getting stuck with me.
That's all right. You're a great teacher. Barakallahu feekum.
Barakallahu feek. May Allah increase you in good and bless you for your good thoughts of your brother.
Ameen.
Make me better than what you think.
Ameen.
Jazakallahu khairan. Jazakumullahu khairan. Unless anyone has any questions, we'll leave it there, inshallah. And we ask Allah to protect all of us and our families and heal those who are sick and make it easy for them, especially our brother Jamal. It's been going through a lot, Always remember him and Ustad and everybody who's dealing with a lot of hardships in your dua.
Ameen.
Inshallah, we'll talk again soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. And don't tell your parents, your father-in-law to go home.
No,